Hi everyone and welcome to DreamSpace TV, here in One Microsoft Place in Dublin. My name is Amanda.
And I'm Corey.
In today's episode we are going to continue on our coding journey with Microbit. We're going to recap on conditional statements, but how they can be used in coding.
But before we do that, let's recap on our last episode. Because in our last episode, we learned how to code with the microbit. And we learned that the microbit, it may be small, but it certainly is mighty because it has so many features and elements to it. So it has our 25 LED lights, it has inputs like buttons and motion sensors, and my favorite thing, it has Bluetooth, so it can talk to other devices. Now, then we set you the challenge to go off and enhance your tower with some code. So we asked you to display the tower's name, display the tower's height, add your own little creative animation, and even add an input on shake so that your alarm system could be sounded if there was an earthquake. But first, I think we should review, because that was a lot that we asked you to do last week. So Amanda, do you want to go over the steps that we asked the audience to do last week?
Yeah, definitely. So let's have a look. So we did our plan, didn't we? We did it and we want to review it. And I'd love to know how everyone got on with this, especially when they were reviewing as well. So I'm going to hop into where we left off last week, Corey, with our code. And let's see. So remember what we did, as Corey said, we had our name, our height, our animation, which I loved. And we stopped with this block here. So we stopped with the on shake block and we asked you to plan it out and then continue it on. So Corey, we talked about this before today's episode.
Yes.
We were thinking, what kind of an alert system would we want? And we decided to go with some music. So we're going to go into the music category here and we're going to look at the different options we have. And you can see they have little titles here. So the first one says melody and there's play melody, which I think you can make your own tune. We go down to tone and it says play tone middle C for one beat. So that's very musical. So it looks like you can identify what note you want to play and then for how long you want the beat to be. So I'm sure there's lots of people watching who are musical who will absolutely love this, especially if you put a sequence or an order to it. Ringtone and rest. And we have volume, we have tempo. Wow, there is a lot of music, a lot of music. I'm going to just start with the very first block I saw. Okay, I'm going to go back up to play melody. So I'm going to take this one out and I'm going to pop this one in to on shake. Okay, so let's see. On shake, play melody. I'm going to test this and see, does it do anything right now? I don't know if I have to put in something, I'm not sure. So on the screen, it says shake beside the microbit. And I'm just going to touch on this. And I can see it moved, so it did shake, but nothing happened. So I obviously need to do something with the notes in here. So I'm going to click here. Oh, now I have no idea what's going to happen, but what we're going to do is we're just going to play around and we'll see. There seems to be some sort of a music gallery here. Oh, that's pretty cool.
They're like pre-made, are they?
Yeah.
Ah, that's cool.
And then if I go back to editor, it looks like I can make ones myself. So I'm just going to go.
I love it.
Now, I know that doesn't sound great, but remember, this is meant to let us know that there's an earthquake.
True.
So we want it to be some sort of an alert. So I think it might be okay for that.
Yeah, well, I was there dancing to it, but...
Okay, so if we go on, shake, play, melody, so... Okay, that's our alert noise.
Yeah.
And maybe I want that to happen 3 times so that we don't miss the fact that the tower just shook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go and use what we've done before, which is our loop. And we're going to say, repeat this. And remember, we have to tell it what to repeat, this melody. And I'm going to change 4 to 3. Okay. So now I know that when I attach my microbit to my tower and it shakes, it should repeat this melody 3 times. Okay? So we test it?
Yeah, go on.
So I'm going to again click on my shake. We're into the second, as far as I know. It's kind of merged. Into the third. There we go. So there's my loop complete.
That's pretty cool.
So that's what's going to happen. If I download it, if you did have the microbit and you plugged it into your computer and you click download and you wanted to test this out, you would shake the microbit. It doesn't have a shake button the way our screen does. If you don't have the microbit, no problem, because you can just use the screen. Great. So wouldn't it be cool though if we could now build on what we've learned so far. We've done loops, which we talked about in a previous episode with our obstacle course. Another coding concept we touched on in a previous episode were our conditional statements, our if-then statements.
Yeah, how the computer makes a decision.
Okay.
So I actually have a good idea of how we can incorporate this with the microbit. So how about we get the microbit to act as a game of rock, paper, scissors?
Cool.
I love this game. So should we have a game of rock, paper, scissors ourselves now and see how it works?
Hold that thought, because I actually think that now would be a good time to pause, and for you, if you're allowed to play rock, paper, scissors with someone. And when you're doing so, really think about the decision that your brain is taking. So we're going to play and we're going to start thinking about the decisions we're making in our brains, Corey.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Whew.
Hold on now. Is it rock, paper, scissors?
It's rock, paper, scissors, go.
We go and go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You have to check this stuff out because everyone seems to have different rules for rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
So, okay, ready?
You ready? Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Okay. We go best of three.
Right, go on.
I don't like the fact that I didn't win that one.
So that was 1 to me, in case anybody missed that.
Okay.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, go.
1 all. It's tight. It's tight. Okay.
Okay. Okay. I knew you were going to go for paper. Yes. I knew it because I was going to go for paper.
Okay. Right. So what were we thinking about there?
Okay, well, let's plan this out.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Let's actually think about what we were actually going through there.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a couple of steps to a game like that, isn't it? And you wouldn't even think it. So
especially with the microbit, I suppose. We want the microbit to do what your brain does when you're doing this.
Exactly. So let me just bring this over here. And now I have a nice empty space to work on. Okay. So our plan was, first thing I noticed anyway, was that I had to actually pick whether I was going to be rock, paper, scissors. And I just done that at random.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you agree? Were you the same?
Yeah, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I just kind of went with whatever came into my head at the last second.
Exactly. Well, now in fairness, I thought a little bit now about what, because I was like, I wonder what Amanda's thinking right now. So we picked randomly between rock, paper, and scissors. What else did you do?
So I suppose what your brain is doing is you decide on something, don't you? So
Yeah.
I decided on rock, and then I did this. So there has to be some link between what you've decided and what I did or what you see.
Okay, very good. So if I'm thinking as the microbit now, if I'm thinking as code, that would be if rock, then.
Oh yes, very good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was in our minds, it was if I do this, well then I'm going to do this. But as a computer, it'd be if rock,
Yeah.
then, and let's leave this blank for a second.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we have options here, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
So I, for one, if I was coding this, I might say, if rock, then, and I could show an icon of a rock. Now, I don't know if there's an icon of a rock in the microbit, but I'd probably just draw a square.
Yeah, definitely.
What would you put there? Or would you do the same?
I was thinking icon. You could do a string. Remember, this is completely up to you. This is what we talked about the last time. That's why we love coding, because it's up to us. We decide what the computer is going to do or the program is going to do. So,
Exactly.
but I think go with your idea. I like the idea of an icon or something flashing up real quick.
Okay, I'm just going to throw icon here just in case I forget, so I can come back to my plan and see what I had planned out to do.
However, I have a point.
Go on.
I think if we're telling it what to do on rock, we also need to tell the computer what to do for the other options.
Yes.
Because it doesn't, remember, it can't think for itself, this microbit. It needs to be told exactly what to do.
Yeah, it doesn't have AI in it. So we're going to say if rock, then icon, if paper, then icon, if scissors, then icon. Okay, so I actually think I'm really happy with that plan. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Looks great.
Okay, so let's get started on this episode's code. So I am going to hop into my browser here and just bring it across. And don't forget, the coding platform that I'm on is makecode.microbit.org, okay? And I'm gonna click new project and I'll give it a name. So what will I call it, Amanda? DS.
TV2 maybe, because this is the second microbit episode?
Yes, good idea. And create. Okay, and let me just zoom in a little bit there so you can see. Now, What we want to do here is we actually want the microbit to act as a rock, paper, scissors game, don't we?
Yeah.
So, even going back to our plan, I think we might have missed a step. Because when we're actually playing rock, paper, scissors, the first thing we do is pick one, and then we actually have to do it, don't we?
Oh,
Then we have to actually do this with our hands. Remember we were like, will we go on 3?
Yes.
So, we need the microbit to be able to do that. And obviously it's a computer, so it doesn't have a hand. But if you think about it, we're kind of shaking our hands, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. Good plan.
We go for that?
Yeah.
So remember, on shake is an input, okay? So I'm going to go into inputs and I'm going to bring out on shake.
Now, Corey, could we do something like on start? Because I always like something to pop up on the screen on start.
Yeah.
So could we do something like on start, game on? Like a string?
I love it. Yes.
And
That's a
then
great
we
idea.
shake to start playing the game? I don't know. I'm just throwing, that's just an idea.
No, that's very creative. I love it. Okay. So first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get rid of forever because I don't think we're going to use it. So I'm going to bring it over to my bin.
Perfect.
And then on start, we're going to go into our basic block and we're going to scroll until we see show string. So I'm going to bring this out and we're not going to leave it as hello. We are going to write game on. Oop.
Yeah.
Game on. Woohoo! And I might just put in an exclamation mark there just for added effect. Okay, so now we can see it says what we want.
Brilliant.
Okay, so now back into thinking about our rock, paper, scissors mind. We have on shake, so the microbit's going to do that. But now we want the microbit to know what rock, paper, scissors is.
Yeah.
So how can we actually get a computer to know what that is? What can we use there?
We're going to have to create a variable. And what a variable is a piece of code that we create and then we're able to reuse throughout the whole program. So once we create it once, we can use it wherever we want.
Which is brilliant because we're going to actually need this a couple of times, aren't we? So if you look down to our categories here, there's actually a category called variables. Woohoo! Okay, brilliant. So let's click in and it says make a variable because remember what Amanda said, it's something that we make and we can actually change it if we want, can't we? We can change throughout the game, we can use it throughout the game. So let's go make a variable. And you can call your variable name whatever you would like, but make sure, this is just something I do, I make sure it's relevant to the coding program that I'm doing.
Definitely.
So in this case, it's rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to write that all out. So I might just write RPS for short, okay? So RPS, rock, paper, scissors. But again, you can call it whatever you like.
Oh, and look, now we have options, which is interesting, Corey. We might be able to use these.
Brilliant. So we have RPS, the variable itself, and then we have set RPS to 0 or change RPS. So I think there we might set RPS to be something because remember, the microbit actually doesn't even know what RP is yet. Okay, so let me just take this and remember, again, it has to fit in like a jigsaw piece, okay? So it has to go in like that.
Now, Corey, is the microbit going to do anything right now when we shake it?
Well, do you know what? Let's test it.
Yeah, good point.
Because remember, it's always a good idea to test as you go. So I'm going to use my on shake button here. Okay, nothing's happening.
So we're not seeing anything, but there is something happening, isn't there?
In the background, there is.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's after setting RPS to 0, but we actually can't see that, but it's definitely after doing that.
Yeah.
But now something that we have to think about is, okay, well, we have rock, we have paper, we have scissors, don't we?
Yeah.
But, so that's 3 options. And remember what myself and Amanda said is we actually picked at random. So what we want to do here is we want the microbit to be able to do that exact thing. We want it to be able to, at random, just pick one of those options.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing to do here, Amanda, would be search.
I think go for a search because when we're looking for something like something to do with random, it can be hard to know what category it's in.
Exactly. So let me just, in the search bar here, type in random. And let's see what we get. Aha, okay. So I can see here, I have pick random true or false. That doesn't really apply here. That's only 2, and we have 3. So let's go for pick random 0 to 10. And I'm going to take this out, and let's see. It doesn't seem to fit in anywhere. But if I look at the shape of this, okay, it's round, and look at the shape of the 0, Aha. And it's given me a connector there. So that means good to go. It will slot in. Now, we need to take a second here because it says set RPS to pick a random between 0 and 10. But how many options do we need?
Well, pick random 0 to 10 is 11 options.
Yes.
And we only need rock, paper and scissors. So we only need 3 options.
Exactly. So what I might do here is I might change this to pick random 1 to 3.
Perfect.
Yeah? You could do 0 to 2, but my brain doesn't think that way.
Yeah.
My brain thinks 1 to 3.
And that's a good point because people just don't think 0 exists. So 0 actually does count. We could say use 0. So that's what we mean by 0 to 2 because you would have 0, 1 and 2. But I agree. I think 1, 2 and 3 in this instance might work a bit better.
Yeah, helps me out. That's how my brain thinks anyway. Again, let's just test this out, okay? And if I press shake, no surprise there. I can't see anything happening, but believe you me, this microbit is working in the background and it is picking a number between 1, 2 or 3, okay? But because we can't see anything, this is where our conditional statements are going to come in.
Yes, and our conditional statements, remember, were our if-then statements that we used back when we did our board game. And in this example, we're going to have to tell the microbit what to do if it picks 1, if it picks 2, or if it picks 3.
Okay, sounds good. So let's do it. Our conditional statements are actually found in our logic category. So if I click into logic here, I can see the word conditionals, okay? And we've seen that word and we've heard that word so many times now. And I'm just going to take out the first block of code. And I'm going to be really careful and I'm going to drop it in here, okay? Now, it says if true, then blank. But that's not really making sense to me right now. Because if you think about it, like let's just think logically here for a second. I want the microbit to say, well, if RPS is equal to 1, well then I want you to show some. So in here, we're going to need a comparator, okay? We're going to need to compare two things together. And again, that's found in logic. So let's click into logic. And if I scroll, I can see the word comparison there, okay? So perfect, just what I'm looking for. And I know 0 equals 0. Now, that still doesn't make sense to me at the moment, but I know it can help me because I have the comparator and I have the equals 0. So I'm going to take this out, and it's diamond shape, and so is this block where true is, and I'm getting that little connector there. So pop it in, woohoo!
Perfect.
Okay, Amanda, I might need you to help me out here just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
I know that if blank equals 0 is right, but I'm not sure what I have to put in my first 0.
Okay, well if we go back to the first step, the minute we shake the microbit, it's going to pick 1, 2 or 3, and it's going to assign that to be RPS.
Okay.
So whatever it picks is now going to be known as RPS.
Okay.
So we need to now say if RPS equals to the number 1, then what did we say? We're going to do an icon?
Yeah, we'll do an icon.
Perfect.
And you know what? That makes so much sense now because I remember in our variables category, we had our standalone variable RPS.
Perfect.
And it is rounded shape. So I know that if I'm really careful here and get my connector, oh, it will pop in. So what I'll do here is I'll take this out, pop this back in. This happens sometimes. And make sure that my connector is going to the 0. And there we go. And there's just one more thing that I need to do, and that's just change this 0 because remember, I said I want to pick a random number between 1 and 3. So I'm going to say if RPS is equal to 1, then we're going to show our LEDs.
Yeah, I think so. Let's draw a rock out, or what we think looks like a rock anyway.
Yeah, I'll try my best. So I went into my basic blocks because I know that's where I can find my show LEDs. So I'm going to bring this out, and I'm going to pop it under here, okay?
Perfect.
Now, I'm going to draw a rock, right? So you're probably way more creative at home, but I'm just going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. One more thing I want to show you is this lovely plus button, okay? So if I press this plus button here, it gives me another option. And if I press it again, it gives me another option. And this one looks like the one that we just done because it has the diamond shape, okay? So we're going to have to do this for rock, for paper, and for scissors. So I have my rock, this can be my paper, and then finally, this can be scissors. So now would be a good time to pause at home or in school, because we want you to try figure out how to make it display paper. Okay, so remember, you're going to use this part here. Okay, brilliant. So, will we get started on the paper part,
Yeah,
Amanda?
let's do it.
Okay.
See.
What was the first thing we needed in here, can you remember?
Well, we needed to do a comparator block, didn't we? So we needed to say if something equals something else.
Exactly.
So we got that in logic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we scroll down to comparisons.
Perfect.
And there's our diamond there, and it fits in, see, else, if, then. I'm getting my connector. Lovely. And now this is just very, very similar to the first one we done, okay? So we're gonna have else if RPS equals 2. So I know that RPS is a standalone variable, so I'm gonna click into variables, and I'm gonna take out RPS. And again, I'm gonna have to be careful where I'm putting this, and make sure I'm getting my 0. There we go. And it's else if RPS equal to 2. Oop. There we go. Then I'm going to draw another icon. Okay, and this time it's paper. So
Yes.
let's pop back into our basic block, and let's bring out our show LEDs and make sure, see, I'm putting it under else if. And here we go. Okay, paper. Any ideas?
I think I'll just do the outline maybe, just like the outline of the squares.
You're so creative. Okay. I
Don't know about that.
I wouldn't know what to do for that.
Do you know what's interesting though for people watching? You might have noticed that we had if then,
Yeah.
and now it says else if then. So we
Exactly.
have these extra words coming in here, but that's really important. So when we're doing our statements, we're saying if it's 1 then, or else if it's 2 then, or else. And we keep going if we want.
Exactly, that gives us so many options,
Yeah.
doesn't it? So what we're after saying here is, okay, if RPS is equal to 1, well, then it's this. Else if RPS is equal to 2, then it's going to be this. And then finally, we just have else, okay? And that's because, well, if it's not 1 and if it's not 2, well, then it's going to be 3.
Has to be 3.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So we don't have to do the other steps that we've done beforehand because we only have 3 options. 1 and 2 are gone. There's only 3 left. So here, all we have to do is actually just put in
Scissors.
exactly. Whew, how am I going to draw that?
I think actually scissors goes in the icons, Corey. So if you do want to do a quick version, you can just go into show icon there.
That's what I'm going to do. But I'm sure at home or in school, you're going to draw it with scissors. But I'm going to pop this into my else category. And I'm going to press my best friend, the arrow. And I'm going to scroll down. Oh, there it is. Scissors. Actually, that's not too bad. I think I could have attempted that. But I'm glad it was there. Now, remember, what have you got to do?
Test.
Test. Test, test, test all the time and make sure this works, okay? So, will I actually play against the microbit and see what happens?
Yeah, well, what we might do is, because well done to everyone for keeping up so far, I think.
Whew,
we're
yes.
doing a lot of code here.
Yeah.
So what we might do is actually read through it one more time.
Yeah.
Talk through when we shake from the top, when we shake the microbit,
Yep.
what happens, and then test it, and then you can play it and I can play it, and we'll see who the
Okay.
microbit.
Oh, okay. See who
Right.
wins.
So
Okay, so let's recap because we have done a lot of code there. So from going back to the start, actually the first thing we done was we put in our string, game on. Then we said on shake, we want the microbit to pick a random number between 1, 2, and 3. Then we said, well, if that number, which is RPS, so if RPS is equal to 1, then it's going to be a rock. So we drew a rock. Else if RPS is equal to 2, it's going to be paper, so we brought in the paper. Or else, it's not going to be 1, it's not going to be 2, so it's going to be 3, which is our scissors. And we brought out an icon for that
brilliant. That's really good, Corey. We
I
give it a
know.
test there now, I think.
one. Yeah, right, so
Yeah.
let's test. Whoop. Okay, wait, I have to pick one. Okay, I'm going to pick... I'm going to pick rock. Paper. Ah!
I think okay, I'll play for over here if you want me to actually do
Yeah.
my hand. And
Okay.
you can hit shake on go.
And go. Okay, ready?
Right, ready? Or sorry.
Okay,
we go.
1, 2, 3, go.
Yes.
Oh,
1.
you won the micro bit.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm going to go again because I want to win it. Okay, I'm going to go with paper. Rock? Yes!
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Yes! Delighted with myself. Well done, everyone, for keeping up with that code. That was absolutely amazing work.
Brilliant. So now we want you at home or in school to go ahead and plan how your game of rock, paper, scissors is going to work. However, we do want you to add one other thing. So imagine that whoever's using the microbit to play the game doesn't actually see the screen. Maybe they can't see the screen very well, Corey. They can't see the lights.
Yeah.
So what could we use so that it's more accessible to them? So hint, look at the music category. And use your conditional statements to do so. So we can say if RPS or your variable is equal to 1, then maybe you show LEDs, but you also do something else.
Yeah? Very
Remember, as always, once we do it, we go back and review. So we have to test to know how effectively all of this works.
That's it for today's episode of DreamSpace TV. Thank you so much for watching. We can't wait to have you back in our next episode where we continue our coding journey. Bye!
Bye!